So this is a socialist talking to the liberals. If you guys, so I'm just letting you know. Historically, we socialists have told you guys like what is the proper policy and which is socialism, but you all are like, no, fuck you. I don't want to lose my profits because I'm a rich business owner and I'm entitled to that. So just to let you guys know, there were two things in the New Deal. If you guys are gonna like do anything for the people, like I don't believe in incrementalism, and reformism because it's bullshit. But you all liberals, you believe in reformism. So like, here's just a little idea, a blast from the past. Bring back the New Deal, like everything that FDR originally intended, including these two parts right here. It's called the National Recovery Administration. This is the other NRA. Now, see, okay, basically what this was is it would it was the goal to eliminate cutthroat competition by bringing industry, labor, and government together to create codes of fair practices and set prices. And this was deemed unconstitutional because they said that it was an overreach of the government, which is bullshit, because we all know that the Supreme Court will interpret the law to work with the status quo. They're all bullshit. They're preserving capitalism just as much as the rest of the branches. But because this was deemed unconstitutional, people had to make unions because unions were the next best thing to have to workers' rights and fair wages in the workplace. Another policy that they deemed unconstitutional was called the Agricultural Adjustment Act. And the Agricultural Adjustment Act basically was to put restrictions and regulations on production. Ultimately, the reason this one was deemed unconstitutional for the same reason as government overreach, but it threatens capitalism. The whole idea of what this would do is it would tell farmers to stop overproducing a lot of things, and some of which were let's see, here we go. Commodities like rye, flax, barley, grain, sorghum, cattle, peanuts, sugar beets, sugarcane, and potatoes, because these commodities were the most influential on prices of everything else. Okay, that's why things are so expensive right now, is because these commodities right here that were meant to be regulated are overproducing, being wasteful, and this act apparently caused a significant effort to remove excess commodities. So what would happen is that because they were told that, hey, you can't have these many pigs or this many other products, they would just like kill them. Kind of like what happened with COVID. Remember when they had to get rid of all the pigs because they couldn't feed them and they were going to die anyway? So that's what happened here exactly at the same time. There was a restriction on trade and production that caused a bunch of businesses to start throwing things away and start burning them. They even talk about soaking kerosene on oranges. Now, that was actually also a scene in The Grapes of Wrath, because in that book, he's talking about how he saw the pile of oranges set on fire, and he thought, why couldn't they be given to other people? So that means during this time when this act was done, because capitalism would rather burn all of their stock than give it away, because they're not making any money anyway, and capitalists already think that they're better than everybody because we live in a classist system, in a classist society, that the business owners, the landowners, they are better than all the other people, the people who depend on them for food. That's why they did that. It also regulated tenant farming, or sharecropping, basically slavery, modern day Jim Crow slavery in the South. This act was going to regulate it to ensure that the people got fair wages for, believe that the acreage devoted to cotton would be reduced by 1/3. They would reduce that. They would reduce cotton production. They would reduce all these things, and they would make sure that their workers were paid properly and given benefits. But the Southern Democrats did not like that. They did not want FDR to do that. And remember, this was back before the party switch, when the Democrats the Dixiecrats specifically, because the Northern Democrats didn't really feel the same way, but the Dixiecrats, they're the, like Woodrow Wilson and Strom Thurmond, they believed that this was government overreach. And so that's what happened. And so we now know the story of why America could have been at least a social democracy like in Europe. We would have been with them in the same thing, and that's what they tried to do with the economic policies after FDR, before Reagan. And then when Reagan came along, really it was more like Nixon, because he did the silver thing. But with Nixon, he totally flipped everything on its head and turned it into neoliberalism, when before we were just doing more of a social democracy kind of liberalism. So if you liberals really are wanting to do something and push for some real stuff, push for these, because FDR wanted them. And if FDR wanted them, it's obviously not socialist. But this is a socialist talking to you liberals, saying that you need to listen to us. You either need to join us and ditch capitalism and ditch liberalism, or at least fucking listen to us and make things better. Because I'm just letting you know that you're eventually going to be overthrown. Like, this is going to happen. Socialism is going to happen, whether you like it or not. Okay? So, you know, yeah, you can do your little reformisms, but then you're going to start doing some stupid stuff and then restricting the people, and then they're going to rise up, and then we're going to come in and step through the door and take control. That's what's going to happen. So you either have a choice. You either do it now, or you're just going to wait and, you know, see the consequences.